let's take a look at a little bit more at creating GUIs, graphical user interface. If I do a file, new project, and then I'll go ahead and create a brand new one, and I'll call this, what do I call this? GUI example 2. Okay. And I didn't put any spaces there, I'll put underscores. Just, I'm not used to ever using spaces. Sometimes it allows you now, sometimes doesn't. I want to choose Windows Form application, so make sure that's chose. And then click OK. Okay, now I'm going to drop on some images here to show how we can manipulate images. And, okay, so I'm going to go to Google. And I'm going to type in world flags. And then choose images. I didn't want one big picture of that, so let me United States flag. Okay. Look, there's not stars there. Maybe there isn't. I just don't know how many should be there. No, this one has different amount. One, two. Not that matters. I'll just save one of these. I get caught up with that. Okay, save images as, and then I'm saving my temp directory, and I'll call this US flag.jpg. And it's another flag, Brazil. Interesting flag. Right click on that and say save image as, and then I'll call this Brazil. Notice this is a PNG, shouldn't matter. Okay, so if we come up over to our program, now you see I got the picture box here, and if I drag a picture on there and do that, I'll drag another one, or I could double click them, and notice as I move it, those lines that appear, that's where you can line them up. Okay, so I got this one here, and I come over here, and lots of different options. You see there's no text that I can see, because text doesn't make any sense on that. We got a size. Size mode is important. See how it says normal? You can leave that as normal, or you can say stretch image, auto size, so forth. And a lot of this will be based upon whether you want the box to stretch itself to fit the image, or you want the image to stretch itself to fit the box. Let me choose auto size. I'm going to choose this one, and choose size mode, and I'll choose auto size again. Okay. Now up here is image. Go back to my first one, and image, and then I click the three little dots there. And you see we got resource content, local resource, project resource. We can choose import here. If you choose local resource and choose import, then go to temp here. I'm going to choose the US flag. Notice it shows it there. Project is more if you want to bring something in for at the project level. Then click OK, and it has our image. And it stretched the box to fit that. Now if I'd come down and change the size mode to stretch image, then no matter what size I make the box, it'll stretch the image to fit it. So that's kind of up to you what you want to do in that regard. If you want them both be the same size, maybe you want them both be 200 by 200 to be exact, then you want to stretch the image. Like that. And then this one here, if I get rid of the auto size and say stretch image, and then I want to make sure this one's 200 by 200. Okay. Then if I come up here, went down too high, I'm looking for image, there it is. For this one I want to choose a Brazil flag, so do a drop down, choose local resources, choose import, Brazil, and click OK. Now see what that looks like. That may not be quite what you're looking for, since it may distort it. That's what you have to decide yourself with your images, what you want to do with that box in terms of the size mode. Okay, now if I want to make these invisible to begin with, then I can. There's a visible tag. Everything has a visible. Come up here, and there's visible. See how it says true? If I double click that, it'll change it to false. And if I come over here and choose this, I can go to visible. I can do the drop down and also choose false. Now when those run, even though I can see them here on my design, if I come up here and choose start, I don't see them in my form. So they're both invisible. Well, let's choose some buttons to make them visible. Let's see how to do that. So I'm going to drop a couple buttons on here. And this one I'm going to click it one time, come choose my text, and this will be make US flag visible. I don't know if there's an auto size for that. I don't know if I ever looked. No, it's auto size false, auto size true. Okay, there is one. Okay, now this one I'm going to change the texts, and so come right down here to text. And by the way, it also goes to your default ones. If I just start typing, in a lot of cases it'll go down to text. And I'll say make the Brazil flag visible. And I'm going to come up to the auto size, change that. Okay, change that true. There we go. Now when the user clicks these, I want these to become visible. So I'm going to double click it now. When you double click it, it'll program the most common operation it expects. In this one case, what do you want to do with a button? You click it. And this is where I'm putting my code. Well, we want to make this one visible. So if I, what I did is I clicked the design tab to go back here. If I got this, I want to give it a name I can easily refer to. So picture box, I don't know, PB US flag. I spelled something wrong there. Flag. There we go. PB underscore US flag. So then if I go back to the form, I can click this, and it'll go back to where I need to be. Or if you just simply double click the button again, it'll take you back there. Now notice that this starts with a beginning brace and closes the ending brace. So all of your code has to be between these. So right here. If I start typing this, PB, notice how it pops up with PB underscore US flag. It tries to anticipate what I want to do. And then I'll do dot, visible. Now visible was our property. And I'll do a tab to finish the completion of that. Equals, and I'm not sure here what this should be. It's either going to be uppercase or lowercase. Let me just type lowercase and then semicolon. Okay, now in some programming languages, this is all uppercase. Let me put it all uppercase and show it. Notice it's got a little red squiggly underneath the true. That means that something's wrong with it. It doesn't like it. If you put your mouse over it, it'll say show potential fixes and so forth. But look for those red squigglies. That means that something's wrong with what you typed. And I know it should be lowercase, since that's what it took the first time. Okay. Now if I come back to my design, now if I run this, and I click make US flag visible, it makes that visible. Well, let's do the Brazil flag now. So I want to give it a name. I'll click the Brazil flag. I'll change the name to PB underscore Brazil flag. I'm going to double click this button, and again it goes to a button 2 click. I haven't named the buttons. They're just called button 1 and button 2, but that's okay. So I'm not going to access those in programming. If I start typing PB, notice how it pops up with what it anticipates I want to use. So then I do an up arrow to Brazil flag and tab to finish the completion. Dot, visible, use that tab, equals true. Now the programming here is case sensitive, so visible has to be an uppercase V, and all this has to be lowercase and so forth. It's invaluable for that little pop-up, that IntelliSense that pops up, for you just go ahead and do a tab to do the code completion. Saves you headaches. Don't try to type everything in exactly. Get used to those. Okay, now if I run this, make US flag visible, pops up. Make Brazil flag visible, that makes that pop up. Well, we can come back here. We can drop some more buttons on there and make them invisible. Okay, so let me double click, drag this button over here, double click another one, drag that one over there. And this one, we're going to change the text to make US flag invisible. Remember, we found a property, auto size, so I change that to true. Now this one, I'll change the auto size to true on it. And for my text, I'm going to say and make the Brazil flag invisible. Well, remember what these are called. If I click here, it'll put the name up here, PB_US flag. That's why naming of these is invaluable, because if you name it so you can exactly identify what it is, it's easy to program. Then if I double click this make US flag invisible, I can type in PB, and I'll do a down arrow, the US flag, and do a tab to finish that. Dot visible, and here I'll say false. Okay, go back to my design. I'm going to double click this button, and I'll say PB Brazil flag. So I do an up arrow, tab to finish it. Dot visible equals false. Okay, so now I'm going to run it. So make US flag visible, make Brazil flag visible, make US flag invisible, make Brazil flag invisible. So that's that shows you some initial programming and how to work with images.